Radio Aotearoa.
Speedy Signs in Kingsland brings you Saturday Morning Sports with Wes.
Welcome back to Sports on Saturday with WesSA. Great to have your company on this Saturday morning. Right now, across the world, all eyes are on the World Cup that's happening at the moment as you get to the quarterfinals. And we're going to cross over now to our correspondent down in Tauranga. Sam, are you there?
Morena, Wes, how are you going?
Good, mate. How are you going? I know we've caught you in busy time because you're one eye will be watching the TV and the others will be focused on our court. Also, how's it going with Spain and Belgium?
About 18 minutes into the second quarterfinal. Still no score on this game, but Spain showing a few flashes of their brilliance. They've got quite a young team. A few young stars like Yamin Lamal, who I think will be turning 19 very soon. He's one of the top players in the world. But Spain are starting to get a lot more of the possession in this game. I think they'll probably crack the Belgium defence pretty soon.
Spain has sort of been because prior to them coming to this part, they've sort of been under the radar, eh? And then I think the last game they sort of popped up and they're sort of showing like, Spain's looking like a strong contender too, because the main headlines have sort of been like France and Argentina, and some of the other teams that have sort of captured the fans. So Spain, I think Spain will be a dark horse, I reckon.
Well, Spain were among the pre-tournament favourites. I think they've come into the tournament having not lost for about 30 matches. But they had that in their first match of the tournament. They had a 0-0 draw with Cape Verde, which shocked a lot of people. But then we saw that Cape Verde were actually quite a good team. And they were beaten by Argentina to get knocked out of the tournament after having led a couple of times. So it's a team Spain that are building. They haven't conceded a goal yet in the tournament. Like you say, a lot of people's imagination gets fixated on these teams scoring all the goals, but also a big part of football is defending your goal, and you can easily win a tournament by only winning every game 1-0. And that's basically what Spain have been doing. They're a very organised team. Spain have always sort of been a team that's underachieved. They've only ever made the semi-finals once, and this is after often being among the top favourites. So they'll be really hoping to win this game, and then we can get that France-Spain clash in the semi-final next week.
Yeah, just talking about France, so they played yesterday, and they won 2-0 over Morocco, who was sort of like Africa's sort of strongest team. Mm-hmm. How did that game go in your eyes?
I think a lot of people would have been disappointed with the way Morocco played. Morocco are a team that usually, they give themselves a good chance. They give themselves a go. And I think to get into the quarterfinal against France, they will produce quite a limp effort, really. It was very disappointing from Morocco. But France played their game, and they got 2 great chances, and they scored from both of them. So, France definitely dominated that match yesterday, and Morocco really just didn't step up. France, I think they've scored the most goals in the tournament. They're looking very, very good with their front line, obviously led by Kylian Mbappe. But they're looking like a team that's going to be hard to beat on that side of the draw, at least.
Yeah, they're definitely looking like they got the favourite tag, and they are living up to it. France tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be a big game, Norway against England. What's your thoughts on that game?
Well, I think England produced one of their best efforts in years to beat Mexico. It was quite an environment to go down to Mexico City and win that match, and they really showed a lot of fight to win that. Norway, of course, they've been a very organised unit, and they've got possibly one of the star strikers in the world in Erling Haaland, who's just a goal-scoring machine. I think he's touched the ball something like some ridiculous amount of times, and he's scored 8 goals. So he's a guy you can't give him 2 or 3 chances because he'll score. England, they've got a few injury worries, and they also had a red card in their match against Mexico, so one of their defenders is out. They'll be worried, England, but I think England have got enough firepower to win that match. But Norway are not a team to be slept on. They're very strong. Northern European team. They've got a lot of size. They've got a lot of skill and organisation. They could win the match, Norway, but I think England are one of the top 4 teams in the world in the rankings. And it'll be good to see. I think it'll be good to see all those teams make the semis, and then we can really find out who the champions are.
Yeah, just talking about the England squad. So they're led by a player that a lot of English people, I guess, really love. Keane, in what makes him so special.
Well, Harry Kane, he played for Tottenham Hotspurs for a long time in England, and Tottenham have had this kind of historic run of not winning any trophies. And Kane has been one of the top strikers in the Premier League for a decade or so. Always up near the top of the goal scoring ranks. And it was only a couple of years ago that he actually decided to leave and went to Bayern Munich in Germany. And he's found some immediate success over there. I think this year he scored something like 72 goals in the season, which is I think the second highest number of goals ever scored in a European season, only behind Messi when he got about 90 one year. So Kane, he's a strong player. He's a very accurate striker with a lot of skill. He might not be the fastest guy around, but he's very accurate striker. And you talk about him, he's their captain, but then you look at a guy like Jude Bellingham, who's sort of a different character. He's quite an outspoken guy. He's very confident. He's never played in the Premier League. He signed to play in Germany quite young, and now he's one of the talismans at Real Madrid in Spain. So that combination is very strong, and the 2 different personalities, but I think this is probably the best we've seen them play together.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Sam. We're just going to go for a break, and then we're going to be back into the action. You're on Saturday Morning Sport with WesSA.
You're with Saturday Morning Sport with WesSA here on Radio Aotearoa.